And we're live.
Yay!
Yay, we did it. I think it's good.
There's 4 of us.
Ta-da.
Max is here.
Cool. So,
Player 4.
So the DM's away today, so
there we go. It worked now.
to play.
Nice.
There's no hand on the tiller, so let's have fun.
Yeah, we're just gonna let the ship drive itself and see where we go. Yeah, how about introductions?
You first.
Sure, okay. So my name is Corey. You can find me on Twitter at Corey Hickson. It'll show up on the stream in a second. I do a lot of games and stuff, especially D&D, Blaze in the Dark recently. So if you like following for game design stuff, you can check me out. I also do programming, so that's a little bit about me. And then I think we will learn about our characters pretty soon. So I'll maybe pass it on to whoever wants to go next.
Okay, I'm Sam. I'm 65th Victor on Twitter. This is the first time I've ever played any kind of published adventure, so I have no idea what I'm getting into. And I'm going into this totally blind. Don't know what I'm going to be playing. Hoping everybody watching can help me figure something out. As a lot of you hopefully know, maybe, I do a lot of fantasy and D&D art, and right now that's how I make my living. So if you don't already follow me on Twitter, I would really appreciate it if you went ahead and did so. Next.
Okay, I'm the other Sam, or Samuel, I guess, to differentiate between the two of us. I can be found as Eldritch Warlock over on Twitter, although I don't really tweet much, to be honest. Full-time student, so won't find me doing much on Twitch or anything like that, unfortunately. Basically, I'm not as interesting as these other two.
My name's Matt. I'm also a software developer. You might be able to tell from my eclectic office. I play D&D and stuff online. I don't have a Twitter. Well, I do, but I don't use it, a Twitter account, so I won't bother mentioning it. But I've streamed a few times, and I'm looking forward to a new. Actually, this is my first kind of real, genuine published thing as well that wasn't manipulated by some heavy degree of homebrew or something. So I'm probably going to get rules wrong and take liberties that probably shouldn't be taken. So that would be my quirk for this game.
Do we want to talk about what we're going to do for the stream, since we are currently GMless for this one session? Or how we're going to maybe go about this?
Probably best. Let the audience know what disaster they're in for.
Right. So our DM is not available tonight, and one of our players is on vacation in Europe. So it's just the 4 of us, and we're kind of doing our own zero session tonight, which is interesting because I feel like a couple of us at least don't really know what's going on.
I think it's safe to say all of us don't know.
Yes.
Oh, okay. None of us know what's going on. We've already established ourselves as the anxious group out of like there are many different Dragon Heist games going on this channel right now. And we're the anxious ones. So everybody else has this really cool title, and we're just stressed.
You don't even know. You haven't even met my character yet. Boy, he is. Yeah, he's wound up pretty tight.
Cool.
Do we have okay, so I see the Roll20 room in here. Okay,
Yeah.
That's cool. So we have this little window next to Taryn's thing over here where you can see our Roll20 chat. So I think, have you guys already figured out your stats?
Yep.
You have,
Yeah,
right?
little
I'm the
I
only
have,
one
yeah.
that hasn't. Okay, so when I get to it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll for my stats
Do
in
it
that
live.
chat and see what happens. Yeah. And if it's shit, I won't use it. But I'll give it a go. But I don't. How do we want to start?
Do we want to start on that first question maybe, and then we can go from there?
Yeah, we have a list of questions
Yeah.
from our GM that we are supposed to each answer, kind of to set things up. So, yeah,
List of
what is
orders
it?
to make sure we don't burn everything down.
Yet.
Yet.
We're
Yes.
probably
All
going to
right.
burn a few things down before we even get started.
One of the questions is, what illegal thing have you done? Isn't it? Isn't like the last one like, have you gotten in trouble with the law in the past?
Have you had run-ins with the City Watch?
Watch.
And if so, for what infraction?
All right, which of us has burned something down before?
Do we want to
I
start
would
with
say the gnome. All right, so, okay, what's the first question?
The first question is for us to describe our character's appearance, personality, and their general activities around Waterdeep.
Cool, I don't know any of that yet. Not a bit. So if anybody else wants to go, I'm going to take some crowdsourced suggestions down here.
So, Corey or Matt, unless one of you want to go first, I don't mind kicking things off.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll be playing the Tabaxi by the name of Five Thorns of the Blossom. Fives if you're on his good side, thorns if you're not. So it's pretty easy to tell where you stand with him just by what name he gives you. If I got this correctly, I should have, as my Zoom avatar, a picture of him. Or at least the image I've used for inspiration. So he's kind of got that light brown fur with the odd black marking or stripe here and there. In terms of personality, he is a little bit of a rogue, shall we say. He loves to gamble, have his fun, have his drink, have his women. He has devoted himself to one person above all, but that doesn't mean he can't have fun on the side. He's not an actual rogue in class. He's a bit of a rogue in personality.
Love it. Love the voice. That's going to be awesome.
Thank you. It is.
I'm glad that
He's
we're
one-
doing voices.
Yes, it is basically Khajiit. Or my spin on it.
You're right.
Or at least my own personal spin on it. In terms of his general activities, he loves to drink, dance, party, and every now and then maybe smuggle a few goods into his own pockets from others. So long as he doesn't get caught, of course. And if he does, well, he is innocent. How can such an innocent person be to blame? Khajiit did no wrong.
Sweet. I could go next, I think.
Alright.
Cool. So far what I've figured about my character, whose name is Lugo Lior, is that he's some type of merchant for the most part. That's very like core of who he is. But I think he is a merchant for a lot of magical goods, talking about the different like activities that he does. So it wouldn't be uncommon for him to invite a bunch of people over to check out all the stuff that he's selling. That's definitely the type of party that he would host. And I'm trying to think of like, as far as what he looks like, I was sort of imagining like Janelle Monáe dressed up as Prince for the most part. So that's what I've got in mind. Class-wise, Lugo is a bard, so things I think will get pretty extravagant with him. We'll see. And I definitely imagine him wearing a cape. Or at least a cape whenever he can get by with wearing a cape.
Always.
Yeah, capes for sure. Personality-wise, I think personality-wise, that's probably going to come up as we make our characters right now. Because I'm not totally sure. I just have this idea of Janelle Monáe dressed up as Prince, and then we're going to see where that takes us. So, yeah. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Sure.
So I'm playing Hisver Umric, and he is a rock gnome wizard. Should he get to level 3, he will be a diviner. He's going to read from my sheet now because it's easier. He has the typical stature of a rock gnome in his middle ages, but his skin tone and build suggest he doesn't see the sun a lot and could probably have more regular meals. His hair and beard are the same shade of silver fleck with black, which always gives the appearance of kind of being unwashed and untidy. He has a long beard which tied off in 5 bundles spread equidistantly across his chin, all pointing in different directions. From each bundle dangles various odds and ends of kind of charms and bangles and things. Usually you have kind of a gear motif or kind of odds and ends of things that can change on a daily basis. Hisver has a very odd, weird way of talking because he's always partially aware of what's going to happen in the future, and he's trying to figure out what the correct course of action would be given the current circumstances. So he tends to take a long time to say very simple things, and sometimes he stops abruptly for no reason. So he's dressed in a full cape or a full robe most of the time, typical of a wizard. But if he exposes it, if you see underneath, he has a vest and he has pants on that are covered just and in little pockets everywhere. And he's constantly picking up odds and ends of things that he sees because he sees portent in everything. He's some interesting little piece of lint or something. He'll stuff it into a pocket because he thinks it's going to be important later. And if he finds a pocket that's already full, then sometimes he'll unceremoniously dump that stuff all over the place and put the new piece of whatever treasure it is into that pocket. He spends most of his days basically roaming the streets and going in and out of libraries and trying to find things that he thinks are relevant to understanding what is going to be happening in the future. Sometimes he'll pick a person, some very unfortunate soul, and he will trail them through the city for the day, not making it a secret, not hiding in the shadows, just following 2 footsteps behind them. He's one of these people that has no concept of personal space, and that has caused some grief with the local guard on a couple of occasions. He lives in a fairly surprisingly expansive crawl space that's underneath an alchemist lab in the southern ward. And the alchemists tolerate his presence because they occasionally test out their wares on him. But largely in the city, he's just kind of known as the local color or character, and he's mostly harmless. And so people put up with his shenanigans.
That sounds like a really healthy relationship with his landlords that he has.
Well, he doesn't pay rent, so they experiment on him once in a while.
Perfectly understandable. Perfectly. As the 2 of you reminded me, I forgot to actually describe what Fives wears. So something I'll be trying to put together for next session is he wears a tattered red cloak most of the time, but beneath that he wears a button-down white shirt, a waistcoat, and in a weird display of materials, almost like a leather jacket. So he just has layers after layers, basically. Looks like he's constantly overheating, but he wears it because he thinks it makes him look dapper. He's odd like that.
Obviously, it's not the clothes you wear, but how many clothes you wear.
Oh yes, exactly. One must always be
We have
dressed
some
for
questions
every
in
situation.
the chat.
Oh, let's hear it.
Oh yeah,
At once.
at once, yes. I actually think. Hold on a second. I might have my jacket off to the side. One moment.
Okay.
So, Matthew, you were asked what your favorite spell to cast is. That you can currently cast. Yeah, you're muted, bro.
There we go.
Okay.
He doesn't have a lot at the moment, but my guess would be either Mage Hand, just for the sake of being able to pilfer things from far away and stuff them in pockets, Or if the haul is particularly good that day and he's taking things back to his basement, maybe Tensor's floating disk.
I've never seen someone actually take that spell, so I'm really interested to see.
So
how
he
that
only has
works
2 offensive spells, so don't count on him for a lot of damage output.
I think we're gonna have to rely on the Alex for that as a
Yep.
barbarian.
And actually, I took
Let's
Tensor's
see.
flying disc and then went, with the concept of he could ride around on it. Then I learned, you can't actually ride around on it, but I'm sure we'll find some great way to do it. I've heard that if the party is strong enough, they can stand on the disc and hold the wizard on a pole 20 feet in front, and then they can get infinite travel.
We have to try that.
We're gonna test that.
But he's a gnome, so it's like, why not, right?
I can hear Taryn just like groaning all the way from where he is now. Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, this will be his jacket.
Sweet.
I just gotta wear the waistcoat next week.
Don't overheat.
No, it's
Don't overheat on camera.
it is freezing in here right now, so I'll be happy.
Okay. Phew. Okay, well, I have no idea for my character at all beyond Horizon Waka Ranger, which I've only played once before and not for very long. I usually do a hunter. I usually play men, but maybe for the ease of streaming, I will probably play a woman because people just look at me and say she and forget that I'm playing a guy a lot. So it would probably just be a girl. And that's as far as I've gotten. So
You do Horizon Walker Texas Ranger.
I'm afraid I couldn't pull off the accent.
Ah,
I'm way too nervous of a person to do a voice, so I'm really impressed with you guys because I can't do
well,
it.
it's easy the first time. If you keep it up for 6 weeks, then you've achieved something.
Yeah. I'll never forget watching the beginning of the second Critical Role campaign when Sam introduced his character and he was like, "This is the voice I've chosen for the next 2 years." And I was like, yeah,
That's fantastic.
enjoy. Okay. What am I going to do? Oh, yeah, Alex is right. My character will definitely be hot. My character's always hot. Like, I might as well play somebody that's really good looking if I'm going to play a pretend person. So, we've got that much down. But that's it, man. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my rolls over here, and you guys feel free to keep talking, and we'll see what comes of my rolls.
Do we have any so we answer each of the questions individually, but is there any like general activities that we're known for doing together? Oh, that's pretty good. 14.
Gambling, womanizing.
Yes, one must always try their luck with the coin. Where is the fun of their eyes? That will just take it from people.
Drinking.
Mhm.
Drinking, gambling.
Hey,
It sounds like a good group.
I don't know about that, man.
that's an excellent. That's an interesting.
An 8, 2 7s, an 11, and then 14, 8, 11, 7, 18.
Yeah.
So are you
7.
taking them straight, or are you rearranging them? Because if you're taking them straight, that's not a great dex for a ranger.
No. I was not going to take them straight. No. No. No, I don't know, man. Those 2 7s are killer. That's pretty.
Dump stat charisma. Maybe you're not so good looking. I don't know.
No, I am so good looking.
Well, I mean, then again, charisma doesn't have to be physical appearance.
Yeah.
Right.
You could just stink to high heaven.
Oh man, I don't know. Those are kind of crappy. Do you think Taryn would let me just roll again? Oh no. I don't know. Should I keep those or should I just I don't know. I don't know if I want to be bad at 3 things.
That's fair.
Why not do one more 46, keep 3, and drop 1?
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, I could drop one of the 7s.
Assuming you don't come up with a 6 or.
Max, I don't know what my bonus is because I haven't picked a race yet. So
That's true. You could
I have
potentially
not.
use that one of those 7s.
No. Yeah, maybe even. I don't know. 2 7s is kind of lame. Like, I don't want to be the
So
only one.
Jeff is saying to do it. That it could be an interesting challenge that you should do it.
Yeah.
But I don't like being bad at things.
You should try it. Being bad at things is awesome.
Oh,
yay!
All right. So up by 1. All right.
Well-
So does it really make a difference? No. Okay. All right. I'll keep
Well, it takes away a negative, right? That rolls you up to
at least 1 negative. Yeah.
Yeah, it's now -1 instead of a -2.
2.
Yeah, great. All right. So let me put these. I'm gonna throw them in my sheet. I don't know what. Sorry, I kind of go off camera when I have 2 computers going on right now.
Okay,
So,
Max has made a suggestion.
Yeah.
Your dump stats should be strength, intelligence, and charisma. Be dexterity. I can't speak tonight. Dexterous, thank you. Dexterous, hard to kill, and really wise. So have your dex, con, and whiz be your good stats, and your strength, int, and charisma be bad.
That was honestly probably what I was going to do anyway. So
Yeah.
Good thinking, Max. I always dump my strength. Always.
Same. I've
Unless
never
I'm a fighter.
That's what our barbarian that we're going to rely on everything is going to be for.
We're all gonna be a
Okay.
bunch of wimpy kind of. Then we're gonna have the barbarian like, open the door for us.
But if I'm a wood elf, then I'll have a 20 in my dex at level 1.
Woof. Yep.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
So,
Makes up for not being that strong.
but that's only if I go wood elf. Which, I mean, why wouldn't I guess, if I'm going to be a ranger. So, let's see. Tiefling ranger. It'd be cool. I could at least bump up my charisma then.
Somebody with hellish rebuke. I mean, come on.
18. Okay, let's see. So,
Doesn't the feral
Wait,
tiefling have a dex bonus?
one of them does. One type does.
I think
Yeah.
it's the feral tiefling.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll put the 8 there. Gonna put the 7 instead.
Yeah, because I've got a feral tiefling rogue. That's why I did that.
Oh my god, I have an 11 in Constitution. That's gonna be so bad. And then I'm gonna put 8. I'm so dumb.
The ranger's
Okay.
what, a D8 hit die?
I
think it's a D10.
D10?
No, yeah, D10.
Oh, that's not so bad then.
Okay.
Because I've only got a D6. Even with a con of 16, it's not great.
Oh, I just have a hit points of 10 to start with. Oh my god, -2, 4, 0, -1, 2, -1. It's painful. All right, what race am I gonna do now?
I don't know. I think -1 should be fun. I think.
What are we limited to again? I forget. I don't even know where I know tieflings are in the main,
I think
Players.
Is it? I can't
but I don't know
remember
about
how
the
to-
feral.
Is it Mordekainen's? I think it's Mordekainen's is where you got a variant of the feral tiefling.
Do I have that one?
But I can't remember where the actual feral tiefling.
I do have it, and it's got.
Yeah, your int goes up 1 and your dex goes up 2 with the feral
Okay.
tiefling. You know Vicious Mockery?
Oh,
Oh.
that's pretty handy.
Good.
Once you reach 3rd level, you can cast Burning Hands once per day as a 2nd level. It replaces Hellish Rebuke, though. You have bat-like wings.
That's spooky.
It's-
Dramatic for the month, but spooky.
This says it comes from Sword Coast. I don't know if we're using that or not.
I think Taryn would be okay with it if we did, but I don't want to speak
Sounds
for
pretty
him.
cool.
Okay, so Max answered our question. It's official stuff minus Eberron and Manisa. I guess that's how it's pronounced.
Ravnica, I think.
Ravnica.
I could be wrong. You may be right. I don't know.
It's almost 2 a.m. I am most definitely wrong.
Okay, so it's wings or the spells. All right, Max. Jeez. Didn't I tell you at the beginning of the game that we don't know what we're doing?
He is a walking book of lore.
Hi, Kitty. God, I don't know. What should I do? Tiefling or what elf? Hi, Bria.
If you want, we could let the chat vote.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Go for it, guys. What am I going to do? Tiefling.
Tiefling. Don't yell at Matt. You know what? Just for that, I'm going to just nuke your bit total. There, take that. Now you have to catch up.
Okay, there's
Matt,
one vote for elf.
Max is asking if you could play Movable Rod.
I don't know if my voice can handle that tonight. Yeah. Movable Rod is a good...
One tiefling, one elf. All right.
You jerk. 101.
Guys.
And I can't race to the bottom on that one.
I need more votes. We have a one tiefling, one elf. That doesn't help anything at all.
I think that one vote counts for you to be a cat. I definitely see a cat vote in there.
Are we having a second Tabaxi?
Another Tabaxi Ranger?
So we got a second
vote twice
from the same person. Max.
Oh,
Max
there, Jeff chimed in.
Jeff
it looks
said
like
tiefling.
it looks like tiefling is winning.
Dare to be different.
Right. What were the bonuses for tiefling? Let me put them in now so that I have them.
Let's see.
Another tiefling.
I found the no.
I think it was 1 intelligence and 2 dexterity.
Here's the actual.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, they call it variant tiefling is the official.
1 to intelligence. Okay. Yay, I don't have a negative. No, I do have a negative still.
No matter, if you scroll down, there's a feral tiefling on the races of
is there?
Beyond. It's a separate one. Yeah.
Sweet.
There's a lot of tieflings.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Tiefling it is. Do we have any smart people in the group?
Yes.
Like intelligence?
I've got
wizard.
18.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
So you've got one smart person.
Well, he's smart but intensely awkward, so...
So he won't listen to you at all.
There we go.
Or he may have a difficulty communicating it.
So it's basically going to be like any normal D&D party. You just ignore the
And then
smart.
when you, yeah, exactly. And then when you do communicate it, we either don't understand or just totally disregard it. So it should be great. Oh, I always play characters that are doers rather than thinkers, Max. Always. Always. Never think. Just do it. My very first session of my very first D&D game, I killed an innocent NPC because it's a good idea. They won't let me live that one down. So, all right, should we move back to our questions now that I have my stats at least?
You have to answer your first question then.
What is it?
Tell us about their activities. What kind of things?
Appearance and personality and their general activities around Waterdeep.
Okay. Well, I feel like there are a lot of red tieflings and there are a lot of blue tieflings. I would rather be a different color tiefling.
Purple?
Pink.
Oh, pink.
Green?
Green looks a little zombie-ish. Pink? What do we feel? How do we feel about pink tieflings, everybody? I'm into it. I could see it. Like a dusty pink. That would be cool.
So we've had a black was suggested. Yellow.
Oh, that would be neat too.
A second for pink.
Mauve.
Mauve is just purple.
No, it's fancy purple.
Mauve is dusty purple. Mauve is like antique purple.
But it makes you sound like you know the word mauve, so that makes it
I do
fancy.
know the word mauve.
No, but I'm just saying. You can wear
this is
purple
a
and
good
just
one.
be, whatever, but you wear mauve and suddenly, oh, you're a person who knows mauve.
This seems to be a good one. Dusty pink with gold eyes.
Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
I'm into that. Dusty pink with gold eyes, and then like
We've got 2 mauves now.
no, go away with this mauve. How many of you didn't know what mauve was until we explained
I learned it from Beetlejuice when I was like 8.
I've never heard it
Magenta.
said out loud, I don't think.
Same.
This is the first time I've heard it out loud.
Just out of curiosity, how did you think it was pronounced?
Mauve.
Mauve.
Same.
It
Definitely
might
thought
be.
it was
Mauve.
mauve.
I think I don't. It could be. It could not. It may not be mauve, but I'm pretty sure it's mauve.
There you go.
I will
You can
not name
a
my
character
fucking character mauve, Alex. No. Not. It's too close to Maud. Like I don't want to be a dowdy tiefling.
Mod Farm.
I think this is a fish. This is officially gone off the rails, and I
It
am.
has.
I am loving it.
You're going
That's
to be
what-
a pink ranger.
I know. Right?
How many Power Ranger jokes are you willing to put up with for the next 6 weeks?
Oh my god! If we had to make Power Ranger jokes, then I need to be yellow because I liked the Yellow Ranger the most. I don't think I could tolerate being the Pink
Okay.
Ranger.
Okay, good. So the UK say mauve, which means I was pronouncing it correctly,
Oh, very
and
good.
the heathens were pronouncing it wrong.
Oh, no, this is the
All right.
freedom pronunciation.
No, I hate Kimberly Max. I will not be Kimberly. Kimberly the Tiefling. The Pink Ranger. My god, that's really funny.
Hmm.
Maybe she should be named Kimberly. Oh my god.
But only before every tack you have to.
Right? Yes.
I would
gotta-
specifically go looking for Pink Ranger jokes just for that.
If I wish that I was a Beastmaster so that I could have like a little pseudo dragon or something to look like a pterodactyl. But
Well, there you go.
this is going too far now. I don't think I can be pink.
I think that's the first fire set.
This is the first fire set for sure.
We shall leave only ruins in our wake.
Okay. I gotta have a name and it's not gonna be Kimberly. I'm dying. Okay.
Let's see. How do you pronounce Kimberly backwards?
Somebody write it out.
Ilimberg?
I could just be like Kim backwards and be Mick.
Mick?
That's also like a slur. So let's
Yeah,
not
it
do
gets
that.
close. Yeah.
My husband's Irish. He wouldn't put up with that.
No.
So. Let's see. I'll worry about the name later, I guess, unless somebody comes up with a good one.
Liminal.
Liminal
Liminal. I don't know.
sounds like an energy drink.
Oh, now I got to go register a freaking domain name. Thanks.
Lilith.
Oh, I am the official domain holder of wizardofwines.com, by the way. I just wanted to pass that along to
You're kidding me because my best friend plays a wizard and his trinket was the Wizard of Wines winery bottle.
Yeah.
And I made him one. Like I took an empty wine bottle and I made a little label that says Wizard of Wines winery and had a little address on it and it's like Mod Podged onto the bottle and everything.
We were playing Strahd and they mentioned it and I said, oh, I got to see what that web page looks like. And I went in and it was like, no web page. And I'm like, well, who owns the domain? Nobody owns the domain.
Nobody buys it now.
5 minutes
Wizards
later,
of
I
Wine.
own the domain. So I guess I'm waiting for Wizards of the Coast to come sue me. I don't know.
They will. As soon as
Probably.
somebody watches this stream,
Probably.
it's all over. Oh, what's adorable and hysterical? See, I don't like that there's a delay in what they see because they're talking about something that I don't even remember now.
Yeah.
Because I keep interrupting. I'll just put my mute on.
Okay, what are our questions? I'm pink. I have
Okay.
gold eyes.
So our second question is a quirk that would become noticeable to the rest of the group after we journeyed with each other for a couple of days. So basically, a quirk of your character.
Have we journeyed much before? That's also something I was thinking about.
Well, I mean, even if we can figure that out.
What if we're
later,
like,
but we need a
guys,
quirk.
what if we're like a group of like, what if we're like Ocean's 11 or something? Like,
I was
we
definitely,
could-
Well, Fives is tied to the Harpers,
oh,
I
so
don't know what that is.
it's I think, is it a guild or a faction? I can't remember, in Waterdeep. And I should probably actually look up what it is, the actual description is, before I butcher it, so give me a few minutes.
I do remember they have the Guinness symbol in the Lords of Waterdeep board game.
Yes.
Um,
Which is what drew my eye in the first place.
I'm definitely up for being an Ocean's 11 kind of group.
Like we just go around scamming people.
I think, but if I remember correctly off the top of my head while it loads, the Harpers kind of root out tyranny. Essentially, they try and stop any tyranny from taking root in Waterdeep and the surrounding lands. So they'll use spies and the like to keep tabs on people of notice.
That sounds very wholesome.
Harpers are altruists who work behind the scenes to keep power out of the hands of evil tyrants. In the current situation, it doesn't take long for them to suspect that the Centrim are wholly or partially responsible for the escalation of violence in Waterdeep. Harper spies might use the adventurers as instruments to gather the truth, so on and so forth. So basically, they're currently active in Waterdeep against the Centrim faction. So it could well be, with Fives being employed by them in the past, that's how the group knows each other. It's kind of, he reached out to contacts, and it was keep an eye out, basically. So they could well have worked together in some loose capacity in the past.
We're getting some great suggestions in the chat.
I like dude, where's my cart?
Yes. Just bros that hang out.
Just a couple of bros.
I would love that to be our background. We're just bros. We just hang out.
That would be a good starting spot. We're just hanging out, and
We're just
Taryn can take it from there.
We could shatter the fourth wall. We're all part of a gaming group.
yes.
We meet up and do tabletop RPG games.
Yes.
Just shatter that fourth wall. Just take a sledgehammer to that fourth wall.
Please, can we do that?
I'm definitely up for being friends that get together for games.
Yes.
Just run with that.
Okay.
All right, we're friends that hang out for games. I don't know how we met, presumably in a bar. Presumably.
Well, I spend like half my life there in a bar, so
You do.
that's probably likely.
Presumably the yawning portal, which I don't know how great it is to play games there. But
Well, that might be where they met. I mean, Thorns, well, Fives rather, sorry, isn't exactly poor, not exactly rich, so may well have his own flat house, whatever, where they could play games.
Who all is from Waterdeep?
I was just thinking, I'm going to be from Waterdeep, and I'm going to be a tour guide. That's how I'm an urban ranger. I am a tour guide for people who visit Waterdeep.
There's a lot of sights to see.
Yeah. I was reading the background. There's a lot of history here. Of course, this means I have to learn all of this history so that I can tell people about it. But that's how I'm an urban ranger. That's how I know this terrain so well. It's my 9 to 5.
Yeah, Fives is from Waterdeep. His father and mother settled there, so he was born there. His sister's part of the temple. So he's what's the word? Is it Waterdavian? I don't know.
Waterdavian, I think.
Yeah, it might be something like that. Again, it's 2 a.m.
Is your family alive?
Yes, this time.
Wow! All right. Progress.
Well, the mother died. The mother died because I used Xanathar's background table.
Oh, all right. Well, that's okay then. Yeah.
Yeah, but she died because of natural causes. It was just illness.
Okay. No tragic backstory.
No tragic backstory. He's got a good relationship with his father, good relationship with his sister. So, happy background.
Wow.
which took
Denver
a
kind of
hit not to
ended up
school.
here accidentally and just found a comfortable niche and has been sitting here ever since. He kind of followed a caravan in one day, and he's been here for.
And he found a good gaming group, and he decided to stick around.
Although he's probably the kind of I don't know how much he plays. It's more like he's the guy that shows up that you don't invite, and you just kind of accept that he's there, and he may interject once in a while.
We put a board in front of you, but we don't really know if you're actually taking turns. We just do our own turns as well.
Yeah. Every once in a while he tells you shouldn't have done that. And
Fives takes particular pleasure in poking him and messing with all his trinkets.
Well, I know how to answer one of my questions now. Number 4. Who is your PC most interested in? Who is your PC wary suspicious of?
So I don't think we actually answered the question, which was a character quirk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
We answered
just
a
went
lot of other
completely-
questions.
We sure did.
Many of which I don't think were actually meant to answer. We just answered questions.
We're going to
not-
have lots of good information for Taryn, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plenty
If we
to
can
work
remember it all.
off of.
So, quirks. I was thinking for Fives. He does, as I mentioned when I was trying to get into his voice, he does actually have a significant other, who adventurer, wanderer, your stereotypical adventurer, basically. Monk who's gone out into the wild, who he has regular correspondence with. I made sure not to make that the dark backstory. So he's in good contact with her, even though they're separated. So his character quirk would be either, I think, he's constantly pulling out and replacing letters from her that he carries on his person, or he's messing with a gold coin that she gave him. So he's always, if it's the gold coin, he's always flipping it or something like that.
I'm going to ask the chat for suggestions on this one for what Prince the Bard would have for character quirks, because I'm looking for some ideas.
So Hisver has, in addition to all his normal talking machinations, he has a spot on his robe that he's constantly rubbing in his right hand. And it's not just like a nervous tick thing, it's important. If you ask him why he does it, he says because it's important. Someday it will be important.
So OCD, but with some divination thrown in.
He doesn't want to do it, but he thinks it's important. So he keeps doing
Hey, Corey, have you considered that maybe your character should always wear purple and only purple?
I have considered that. I've considered purple being like my character's main thing, so that's definitely something that
I don't know if it
definitely
counts as a
pushing
quirk,
towards.
but
It could be like an obsession with purple, though. Not just like dressed in purple, like purple is life kind of quirk.
Purple drinks, purple food dye rather in all his food. Every meal he has to put a drop of purple food dye.
I'm definitely
So basically-
up for that.
That calls to mind like the Percy Jackson series, where it's the blue cookies, blue sweets, blue drink, all of that. That'd be an
So,
interesting
cool.
work.
Corey, I just looked up some of Prince's backstage demands.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and one of them is that all items in his dressing room must be covered in clear plastic wrap until they're uncovered by him. So, and it says it's absolutely necessary. So maybe you're like really OCD about not
I think-
touching other people or other people's things.
I think if people ever come over to my house or to wherever I am, it's just plastic everywhere. But it's not like a normal plastic, it's slightly tinted with purple.
I love it.
You just sit down and everything kind of creaks. Like,
You could take it to
Real-
the next step, and it's like, you're not quite a germaphobe, but you're constantly changing gloves and discarding them. White or purple gloves.
Do you know those purple...
Mauve gloves.
Yeah.
do we know what?
I think we're making the brilliant beginning of a joke. Joe, a cat, an elf, a guy dressed in purple, and a jittery wizard walk into a bar. And I can't wait for the punchline. Sorry, I interrupted you.
And then the barbarian
That's
delivers
fine.
the punchline.
I shouldn't be
I
laughing.
actually feel a little bit bad for Alex because we're like, this is how everything's going to happen. And she's not really here to
Yeah.
have
can-
any say.
We can always make room.
Yeah. There's always room at our gaming table. So.
I'm making notes.
Just make it
for
weirder.
games.
All right, I need a quirk as well. Let's see.
You shout every move.
I shout every move.
Yeah. Going with the Power Ranger theme.
How
You
am I
declare
gonna
the
be?
name for every attack?
How?
I have a
How am I
spreadsheet
gonna do
for
that? How am I gonna-
You could do it. I tried to do with an arcane archer a while ago. Of every, do like, I don't know if it's the best way to put it, like special attack they had, like the ensnaring strike, what have you, had like he had a different phrase he'd say. So like if it was ensnaring strike, it'd be sit down and be polite. Or for another one, it would for banishing strike or whatever it's called, it would be mind your manners.
I really like that because it's like really over the top anime kind of thing.
Yeah.
That would
So rather
actually
than
be
Joe
funny.
shouting the attack, have like maybe a phrase.
Yeah, I like that. I could work with that. I don't know if that's like a quirk or just being like I kind of want something out of battle as well, but I don't want to be a maniac.
What do all the people on your tours notice when you take them on tours around the city?
Oh yeah, what would they notice about me? Besides the horns and the pink skin.
I had a good one of my characters that was whenever presented with the option, always go left. It was a good quirk. It was useful.
I'm sure there's a roll table somewhere. Let me see if there's anything in Xanathar's. Because this has some great tables for character personality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere, anyway. Like childhood home. I don't know if you guys have used any of these, but they're great. I should definitely roll to see if I have parents.
I went through all of that. That's how I made Fives' backstory.
Oh, that's
Like,
excellent.
That's how I made the framework of it, and then I just expanded on it. Like I
Yeah.
know where he was born and everything.
I have a tiefling character in another game that Alex in the chat is actually my DM for, and I rolled for his backstory, and it turns out that both of his parents are human, and didn't know they had infernal blood until they suddenly had these like tiefling twins.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
Surprise!
we also rolled, and we discovered that we were our parents' only children, and we decided that they were so freaked out by what had happened that they were like, "Whoa, we're not doing this again." This is bad news. Had some kind of devil. What is happening?
Must have been
All
an
right.
awkward trip to the hospital when they,
Yeah.
when they were born.
Oh my god, poor mom. Let's see. I'm gonna see if my parents.
Okay, let's role play that.
Okay, I know who my parents are. That's good. Okay. D8. 8. One parent was human and the other was a devil. Like, just a
Spooky.
straight up devil. Not a tiefling, but like an actual devil. How did that happen? And how did I, their offspring, come to be a tour guide in Waterdeep? Something so mundane. Oh my god. I love it.
What if it was like a devil who was really impartial to just everything? And so when you became a tour guide, they were just like, we can do that, sure.
I mean,
You follow your dreams, honey.
you could do it a rather dark method. This is telling because my mind's gone straight here. This tells you how I end up with dark characters of cults. She was a captive of a cult.
That's
She
really
escaped.
fucked up.
So I told you, I end up with fucked up characters for a reason.
I like it
This game
though.
became a tour guide. I feel like this is like an 80s sitcom or something.
Well, I was thinking more her mother.
But now she's a tour guide.
I was thinking more along the line of the mother escaped, and to kind of give a more normal life to you, her daughter.
Mhm.
Especially want to be a tour guide, go be a tour guide. It's kind of like, I'll give you the normal I didn't have.
Oh, Mom.
Like I said, that's how I end up with my fucked up characters.
I like that though. I'm going with that. That's great. I was apparently born at home, by the way. Do you think I have any siblings?
That ties in with the mother escaped.
Oh, not 1D19. Whoops. Okay. Okay, no siblings. That makes sense.
Oh, that's interesting. Jeff gave an idea for your quirk.
Oh,
Well,
I missed it. What did I
Devil
say?
Parent was pure red, and despite being pink, you're now terrified of the color red.
Dig it. So
Yeah,
we have
that's a
one
good-
character that's super into purple and one that hates the color red.
How do your two characters feel about colors?
Colors can be important or not.
What do colors matter in the greatest scheme of things? Colors are just fleeting things.
Oh my god, I'm dying. This is amazing. All right.
Oh, here's another good one actually from Alex. What if the mother was the devil and your dad was just a horn dog? This is just chaos. You're
Get
just
it, Dad.
chaos.
The devil went down to Mayshore looking for a soul to steal. Met a horn dog. While in a fog, and now they have a daughter that's a tour guide? I don't know how that
If
works.
only I was teal. If only I was teal, then you could have had your rhyme. I'm dead. All right.
I love how we're only on the second question.
That's all right.
It's been almost an hour, I think.
It's
And we're
yeah,
on
it's been
the second question.
no, that's all right. That's all right. I think we're entertaining. Right? Maybe.
I hope so.
We've
Thanks,
had
sweetie.
more chat than the game last night. I'll say that.
Really? Well, this is our 0 session. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna keep rolling for things, and I'll just pipe up with what's
Sure.
happening at the time. And I'm still taking suggestions from the chat. So, I mean, these are good. Like the Xanathar's table give you good bones, and then you can kind of build on the more fun stuff. I think so. Absent parent. Do I want to see what happened to my devil father? I'm gonna find
You
out.
could find out, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I was about to type it in the Twitch chat. Whoops. All right. Let's see.
Oh, so we're very entertaining, apparently.
Hell yeah, we are. Oh, he died. He died.
He suffered the fate all devils do when they come to the material plane.
I
The
get to
band of
see
great
what
dancers wanted his gold.
I get to see what the cause of his death was. I'm really interested to see what happened. I
Killed
hope
by
it's
a
something
mob
really
for-
dumb. Where is it? Life events.
I wanted to just be a band of adventurers looking for his gold. So, not altruistic at all, just like a chaotic neutral group of
We
D&D
just know
players.
it exists.
Yeah, basically a group of chaotic neutral or neutral D&D players who just wanted the devil's gold. I
Right.
want that to read now.
Apparently, it was natural causes such as disease or old age. So he was like a really. I wonder what happened to Dad. Oh, he died. Oh God, that's amazing. Okay, so my devil
If you want to-
father
If you want to hear my suggestion for story behind that, first thing that comes to mind for that is he was bound to the material plane, or maybe bound to a human or something. So when the human died of a natural cause, so did he.
I like it. I'll take that too. I'm just one to roll with anything for this, so
I'm wondering how old everyone is for their characters. So I don't know if you said age, really.
no, we
know.
didn't. Not
I
yet.
have that
I
somewhere.
picture fives as about mid-20s, maybe.
His
Although he
verse
acts like he's younger.
His verse 320. He's been around.
It's a bit older than my character. I think Lugo is about... He's in his, 30s somewhere. He's definitely ready for a midlife crisis.
Am I going to be the baby of the group?
You're all babies.
Sounds like it. Could be.
I'm gonna be young. I'll be youngish. I think I'm gonna be in my 20s.
Because
or
tieflings
so.
only live to 60 something, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to be old. So apparently, I had no permanent residence as a child. I moved around a lot, which makes sense if my father was a devil and my mom wasn't happy about that. Maybe she didn't want to be found by the cult.
So you could be an urchin. Your background's an urchin.
Uh,
That's why you're You're you know your way around the city pretty well.
That's true. That is a thing granted by the urchin background, isn't it? That's good. Childhood memories. Going for it. Let's see. What's the next question? I don't want to hold everybody up with this.
This is the third one is any run-ins with the City Watch? If so, for what? And I'm actually going to pull up the code legal we have to make sure I can get down Fives' exact punishment. So I'll go last if that's okay.
Sure. I think I could probably start with this one because I think mine's pretty straightforward, Lugo. I don't think he's ever got into serious trouble except for maybe disturbing the peace or if parties get too wild. And I think for the most part he's been good. I don't think he's ever... I think he might have been arrested, possibly, if someone has ideas for what he got arrested for. But yeah, I think for the most part he's okay with the law. Not that he particularly cares for it. He's just not capable enough to deal with a bunch of guards, so he avoids it altogether. I think that's where he's at so far.
I'll try and do it in character. Once there was there was a noble, nice clothes, and he had the big long sword, and the sword was important, and I followed him for most of a day, and he put up with it longer than most, but eventually he got tired of it, and I knew the sword was important, and I kept trying to tell him, but he wouldn't listen, and he called the guard, and the guard came, and I warned him. I said, the sword is going to be your undoing. You have to give her the sword. The sword will be your undoing. And he thought that was a threat. I was trying to warn him. So the guards took me and they locked me up, and I was kept for days. And I found out later that he died. That he was arrived at his home on a horse, and as he was getting off, a servant had met him, and it was evening, and the sword had snagged a lantern that was fueled by oil, and it smashed on the ground, and it spooked the horse and threw the noble, and he fell in the fire, and it was the sword had snagged the lantern, and so I was right. And they tried to say I had somehow planned this, and it was my fault for this noble dying, but they could never prove it, and they decided that I wasn't right, is what they said, that I can't be held responsible, so they let me go. That's the most trouble I've ever got.
Wow. I was not expecting death at the end of the story.
So give me a moment. I'm just writing down the last of Fives' punishment, and then I'll try and do what Matt did and present it in character. So just give me a second.
I figure mostly he's like the guy that, the guard all knows him, and he gets into this stuff once in a while, and they just kind of move along, right? And
Okay, there we are. So I'll present it first out of character, then do it in character. So he got in trouble for theft, disorderly conduct in a temple, and disturbing the peace. So let's see how well I can do this in character. Yes, I've had a couple of run-ins with those stiff, stick up the arses temple guards. I mean, they're no fun. They're no fun. They don't understand that sometimes you do something because you're drunk, or it's fun. And I mean, taking something from someone, the adrenaline, or the rush that you have, the desk test upon your skills. I mean, I got flogged for that. I mean, I still have the marks if you want to see them. No fur. They ruined my perfect coat. I mean, I did end up and go and graffiti that guard's house, but don't tell anyone. I didn't get caught for that. So, and then of course there was the imprisonment, the hard labor, the fine, but I'd done that enough. That was simple, easy pickings. Then there was I visited my sister. Again, I was drunk. So I was then charged for disorderly conduct in a temple. I mean, I was only drawing on the figure of Tia. How is that bad? I mean, yes, it was technically defacing a statue of holy worship, but he looked funny with a moustache. Who can blame me? So again, fine, edict, that whole thing. And then, well, let's just say it was when Kaisona was still here before she left on her adventure. Now, we'd always been in an adventurous couple. Let's just say, add another woman into the mix, and we were charged for disturbing the peace. I will say no more.
Have we met your spouse, do you think?
I think you would have met her maybe once or twice before she left. It was that kind of wanderlust, and she had to just go and explore. Okay. So she's a monk. If you want alignment, she's like chaotic good. So willing to have fun, but the good of others above that, though. But she and Fives kind of bounce off each other, trying to make each other more and more extreme. It's kind of like that couple that constantly dare the other to do something. That type of thing, and you would know they're more than happy to take another woman into their bed. It's basically they try and play it to Joe. It's just they have fun. They love each other, but they don't mind having fun with this odd woman every now and then. As long as it's Joe, they're with each other at the end. She's a half elf. I'll try to speak properly. Half elf by the name of Kaisona Sapura. I think I said that correctly. Sapura, something like that. I can't read my own handwriting, basically. I guess that's about it. You would know that she was recently injured, which is why she's not yet returned. She lent her aid to someone, ended up third-degree burns, shattered leg, so is currently recuperating at a village outside of the Waterdeep territories.
Cool.
So I rolled on the crimes table just to see what might happen, to see if maybe I had some problems with the City Watch, and I got kidnapping.
Please tell me it was a misunderstanding type of situation.
Definitely a misunderstanding.
Didn't come back for a week.
It was a school field trip. And I somehow
It's a school field trip to the cemetery where we know stuff in Waterdeep. We lost a couple students.
Apparently I kidnapped somebody at some point. I don't know what that means in the laws. Like, am I in jail for life?
Let me have a look.
I was going to give a suggestion. If it is like a jail for life situation, that one of us was kidnapped and somehow we resolved it and we're like, no, we don't have to go to the police about this or to the city guard. Yes. And now we play games.
So in the code legal, there's no actual kidnapping. but there is slavery, which I'd assumed like a lesser version of that punishment would be used for kidnapping, at a guess, which is flogging and hard labor.
Jesus. All right.
Hey, perhaps that's where they met, in the stocks. I think we set another fire. We've almost burnt down the entire thing.
We should play some games when all this is over. You want to like hang out?
Yeah, just in the stocks. Just you should. I like you. You should come round sometime. Just as he's just getting whipped.
That 100% happened. We met in the stocks after I accidentally kidnapped someone.
There's a whole scene where you're awkwardly trying to shake hands out of.
Just like the other person.
Yeah, by the way, that entire thing with... Let me check the name.
Your wife.
Kaisona, his wife. That entire thing was, I wrote up the most outlandish things I could think of. And I just
Your
rolled.
swingers.
Well, it's more like they seduce someone and bring them to... It's like a game to them.
I love it.
Oh,
That's amazing.
It's like they'll pick out a woman at a bar and it's whoever can seduce her first. That type of thing.
It's amazing. Oh god. Oh, this is gonna be so funny. I can't wait. Jesus. All right. What's our next question?
Yeah, what's the next one? I'm curious.
who is your PC most interested in learning more about in the group? Who is your PC wary suspicious of?
Well, I know the answer for all of you. Who you're more interested in? Of course.
It's you. It's definitely the talking cat wearing 6 layers of clothing.
He's wary
Yes.
suspicious of you.
Yep. That's definitely where I was gonna go with that.
So all of you are suspicious or wary of me.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I'm not suspicious of you. We're buddies now.
Okay, so 2 of you are
We're
suspicious.
friends.
I'm a little bit suspicious
Like-
of the kidnapper in our group, but I don't know if I know that yet, so...
Why would you be suspicious? Whatever do you mean?
Hisper would be interested because it's, tieflings would be fairly unique, interesting, and they would be so bound up in important things because, they would come from sources of power, right? So he would see great potential in a tiefling, so he'd be very interested in seeing what is going to happen with the tiefling.
I think 5s would be most interested in the wizard with the shiny baubles on his beard.
Yeah.
Just that feeling. Actually, not just feeling. Not just cats, but the tabaxi thing of being fascinated by oddities.
And he can make cat toys at will because he's a tinkerer. If he has gold, right, he can construct little marching, mechanical things and stuff. So
The first time he would have done that for 5s, let's just say 5s would have been just pissed. Just are you a racist or something? Are you calling me? Are you comparing me to a common cat?
but you're interested in the pieces. Are you not interested in they put the pieces together? It's
Are
more
you interested in the
interesting,
pieces because of the stories behind them?
Alex said make a laser pointer.
It's the stories that way. Old
You're an
stories.
odd one. You're an odd one, little man. I like you. And I'm actually keeping it now. He only addresses you as little man.
Well, he's going to call you Blossom, so there you go.
So he never calls you by your name. It's always little man or some variant of that.
What is I looking for? Yes, I can make a clockwork animal, monster, or person that can move 5 feet per turn in a random direction and make appropriate noises. So there you go.
No inappropriate noises.
Okay, no, correction. recollection, the first time you did that, you pounced on it.
And then was embarrassed.
And then got pissed off. And then after that, it was kind of like, oh, you're comparing me to like a tabby cat type of situation. But the first time you did it, it'd be so unique. He did that cat of, he pounced on it.
When you get mad, does your fur like rise on you?
His fur rises, his tail flicks behind him, his ears stand up, the whole thing.
Yes.
That's perfect.
And there's always like that sound during the back of their throats. Kind of.
Oh yeah,
Yes. He does the whole thing. Which he hates when anyone ever points it out.
Oh my god.
I think.
All right, so just a recap real quick, actually. Just recap. We all met playing games except for me and Fives, who met in the stocks when we were both being punished for crimes.
Yes. And I think at that point he would have been flogged so much. It was kind of like he was carrying on the conversation the whole time. So he didn't care what was happening to him. He was just
right. Right. You just totally zone out. It's like your meditation. You just ignore it.
It was almost like for him he was acting almost as if you met in a bar or something. He was just chatting normally.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So that's how we know each other so far. We do not have a game lined up yet.
I was
what
wondering.
What game?
Yeah, I was wondering if our Tinker Wizard would be able to make something that we could play.
You could make like wizard chess, right? All the pieces move when you wind them up.
Yeah.
You'd have to contribute some substantial gold to make that happen.
Is that why we need gold, perhaps?
Oh, you want wizard chess? Yeah.
We have to make our next game. This is our big break.
Okay, so yeah,
we've
been doing RPG, but we're starting to get into the maps and terrain and stuff, and we're like, this would be really great if the figurines moved, but it costs like 10 gold a figurine. So if we're gonna make like a reasonable, so basically it's
we need the money.
Yeah, what's the not battle, whatever it is, where you have to have all the thousands of figurines. It's like, and then you end up mortgaging your house. Warhammer, there you go. So we're a Warhammer group that needs funds to get figurines.
To be fair, I had thought on this for Fives, and it was kind of like he's doing it just for the story, just so he can go to his spouse and say, "Look what I did."
Yeah.
Oh, we
I did
have a
better.
story.
His whole thing is, "I did that. What did you do? I did better." Ha. And then
Sounds
they
like
just
a really healthy relationship.
Well, I say it like that, but it's kind of like they play off each other, and it always ends up with them going into the bedroom and ignoring the rest of you if you're there.
Oh my god, we like never play at his house because things get awkward really fast.
I imagine that happened a couple of times. Joe, she came in during the middle of the game. They started arguing. It was kind of that awkward of, oh god, they're having a dispute. We should stay in the background. And suddenly they're going at each other.
And then we decide that we'd rather go to the gnome's crawl space and play.
Except for the gnome who sits there and goes.
While he uses his divination.
I think we definitely have done this a few times at my place, except I also put my plastic wrap on the beds and stuff. So you can hear it.
I am so sorry for both Alex and Talon. I really do pity them. They're gonna have to come into this chaos.
It's gonna be the best group. We went from anxiety group to best group.
And it's Friday, so like people can get totally sloshed and watch us just mess around for 6 weeks.
Exactly. Because we have to fund our Warhammer.
Because we have to fund our Warhammer addiction.
Yes. Oh shit. Oh, okay. So what's the next question?
So describe your character's perfect day in Waterdeep. I'm pretty sure it's playing Warhammer
Playing
at Dawning
games.
Portal.
You're playing Warhammer,
Well, to be
drinking
fair,
ale.
for fives, it would basically be the day in the tavern with Kaisona. Just because of the chaos they would, because as I said, I can imagine it's like it's not just who can seduce that woman first; it's also who can pickpocket that guy first, who can do this first, who can spill their drink and not be blamed for it first, and they just make chaos. So for him, that's his perfect day. Just cause chaos.
I think as soon as my girl, whoever her name is, I don't know yet, it's not Kimberly. I think since she's a tour guide and she'd be wandering around Waterdeep all day, like as much as she has like wanderlust and wants to get out and like do things, I think by the end of the day she just wants to sit down and like have a drink, rest, chat up some attractive people, you know, and just chill. And if everybody shows up at the pub and wants to have a game or something, some dice, whatever.
I half imagine half the time Fives and Kaisona target your character just for that. They'll flirt with her extensively. If it's the end of the day, they're at the pub, they'll both start flirting with her straight off the bat.
She's cool with that.
So it's not like they actually don't play the game, so to say. They're not actually trying to seduce her, but it's like let's just cause fun.
That's excellent. I'm here for that. All right. Great. And your perfect day in Waterdeep, Corey and Matt?
I think I need a second to think. If you've got one, Matt.
What is perfect changes moment to moment for his verb, but his perfect day would be if he can somehow collect enough information and trinkets and things that he thinks he will know precisely what's going to happen over the next 24 hours, then he would feel content enough to just enjoy himself for a little bit. But otherwise, he's constantly trying to nail down what the future holds, and that pretty much is what he's obsessed with every waking hour. So I don't know if there's a kind of character who has a good day, but some days would be, when the vision is clearer, the days would be better than others.
Did you say he would be wary of fives? Did you
Yeah,
say
because there's a lot of chaos. So you embody,
Yeah,
you model,
I was
you
just thinking
can't
that.
see vectors so easily, and so
Yeah, I was just thinking that the two of them just go opposite. Fives is of the belief there is just chaos in the world,
yeah.
and then of course yours with order. That'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting
And
dynamic.
it isn't even so much he wants order, is that he's trying to find
vector
through which the future lies through the chaos. But if there's a lot of chaos, that vector is very hard to determine.
Yeah. So I think that'd be an interesting dynamic. Two opposing views and values. I assume, again, to use the Warhammer analogy, Fives just doesn't have any strategy. It's just he moves his pieces or whatever it is anywhere, and then in opposition to you, who's very set and orderly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
That's how I imagine it. It's just complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
Just for the record, I've never played Warhammer. I have no idea how it's played at all.
Same, but then we're doing a D&D Warhammer thing.
I'm just running with it, basically.
I know that most of the time you spend painting miniatures, so I think
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm really good at painting the miniatures. That's like my role. I don't quite get the game. I like to watch the gnome and the tabaxi kind of like duke it out. I'm more interested in just making them look good.
So I think Lugo's perfect day has to do with when we're getting together at whatever tavern for Warhammer, and everyone's already at the tavern, and he sees himself walking towards it. He's got his suitcase ready with all of his figurines inside of it. He has his cape on, and he comes into the tavern, and he's dressed all up in purple. But what makes this day perfect for him is that everyone else has coordinated to wear purple, and he walks in, and he's just elated with how this looks. So he goes down and plays Warhammer, and he opens up his box, and
they're all purple.
They are all purple. And covered in plastic wrap, of course.
Naturally.
Individually wrapped. It'd have to be meticulously open.
Yeah.
I love a character that like goes full on with an aesthetic. So, I support this purple obsession.
We have made the oddest bunch of characters.
Prince walks into a medieval bar to play Warhammer. Yep. Sounds good.
That's exactly what happens.
I'm so sorry, Taryn, because I assume you're watching this back.
I assume you walk in through the outdoor.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
This last question's a little hard. Come up with a question in character and ask another party member, basically, and then whoever answers, then ask someone who hasn't answered yet.
I'm assuming the way that is we each come up with a question of our own. So say,
or another character.
Well, not even that, I mean, but so say Fives would ask, I would ask Matt would ask you would ask Corey.
Right.
And then say Matt would come up with his question, and it's the same question each addressed. Just obviously spoken in the way our characters would do so. I'm assuming that's what's meant.
Oh, I thought we made our own question.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, we make our own question.
Oh, okay.
But we each take time asking
I see.
the individual. I think I could be making it more complicated than it is.
You could just pick a character that you have it interesting, because it leads the conversation, right? So pick a leading question, and then once they answer, they can pick a new leading question, and just once all four of us go.
That probably sounds better than what I was saying.
I think we've still got about 30 minutes, 35 minutes left, so
I think we've
got time.
Yeah, we've been going again an hour and a half, I think, so far, right?
Oh, is there a time limit? Like, are we supposed to only run for 2 hours or something?
I think about 2, yeah.
That's cool. That's reasonable. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So I guess we have to think of questions now.
Yeah.
Should have thought of this ahead of time.
I am regretting not doing that.
So we don't have a name for the tiefling yet, right?
That's right. I don't have a name yet.
Well, we need a name before we can ask you a question.
I love tiefling names, though. Like,
I've got my book if I can pull some up.
Yeah, I really think that they're really great. I've had a couple tiefling NPCs named like Nocturne and Chime, and I really like those.
Urbius, Karis, Akil, Karis, Eris, Zerius.
Nah, I want something easier than that. My mother wouldn't name me those. Like, my mom would be the one naming me this. So
the last three are Loyal, Harmony, and Love.
I like Harmony. Harmony's nice.
I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that's an option. That's an option for sure. Let's see if anybody has any suggestions in the chat.
Enduring
guide as a name for being a tour guide.
That's nice and literal. Oh yeah, elegant is very nice. Not that Alex was suggesting that, but I don't know. I like virtue names a lot.
I literally just typed in baby names, peaceful, to see what comes up.
Relentless is one that's been suggested.
My mother would not name me Relentless. Can you imagine? Here's my lovely daughter, Relentless.
How about Cheer?
Raina?
Hmm.
Which is from Irene. the name Irene, which means peace.
So this webpage literally suggested Zornon. It's not Zordon, but it's Zornon.
Oh, that's a good one from Jeff. Star.
Oh yeah, I knew a girl when I was younger. I knew a girl named Starly, and I really liked her.
Polaris?
That's cool. That sounds a little masculine though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Starly, I'm reminded of Pokemon now.
Oh yeah, there is a Pokemon named Starly, isn't there? That bird. No, okay, it can't be a Pokemon then.
Now it's like Sephiroth. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a
What?
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth. No, not Sephiroth. I guess we'll just stick with Harmony. That's good.
Harmony's a good one, I think.
Harmony is good. Okay.
Okay, now we can.
It would be better if I was a bard, maybe, but.
Oh yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's I think actually. Do you think I should announce what my class is, or should I keep it quiet and see how long I can trick people?
Ooh, I didn't even realize that we didn't know your class.
I assumed you were a rogue.
No, I said he's not a rogue, but he acts like he's roguish.
Right, that's right.
That's the only thing I've said. He's not a rogue, and I'm wondering how long I might be able to trick people.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to amend my notes to say roguish.
Cool. Keep it a secret.
I mean, I don't know how long I could. They'll probably be outed in the first session, but I'll try and see how.
Yeah, can save it as a surprise for them.
I really need an excuse to nickname you Prince. So.
I'm perfectly okay with that being my nickname for the game.
Well, what's your background? Are you a noble? I mean, maybe you're literally a prince.
I was really tempted to do that, but I really wanted to invite people over to my house to sell things, so I chose the guild merchant.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think your royal parents would appreciate you selling things off if you had gone noble. So.
Maybe they sell books, and so you spent your youth running a printing press, and so your nickname is Prince.
Oh,
Prints.
And it might have just become Prince over the course of the gaming. Maybe that's how it works. Your nickname was Prince, Prints, and then you took that as a character name in the gaming group, and you named them your character Prince, and that became your nickname.
That's fantastic. I'm gonna get the UI updated so that Prince is in there, so we can have that too. Okay.
Do it. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That's a thing.
Actually, you can go ahead and change mine from player 1 to Harmony as well. That would be good.
I don't have it on OBS, but I can get that set up for next time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so character questions in character. I really got to think about this.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm thinking about like Googling first date questions. You know how they have those lists of questions to get to know somebody, but they're kind of like unusual.
Yeah, there's I know there's that like one list which is really cheesy called 37 questions to fall in love that this just reminded me of. How I kind of want to go steal one from there.
How about, go to BuzzFeed, top 10 questions D&D characters asked. You won't believe number 7.
Yeah.
I want to open up Always Open.
I was shook.
Do any of you watch Rooster Teeth? No. They have a show they do called Always Open, and the segment on it is, I can't remember the name of it now, but they take questions from eHarmony, and they'll ask each other that, and I now want to do essentially that between our characters, just them asking eHarmony questions.
Do it. Find them. Find the eHarmony questions and ask us. I'm ready.
I'll see if I can.
My body is ready. One of the I looked up that 36 questions to fall in love thing, and one of the questions is what would constitute a perfect day for you. But we already run over that, so
there we go.
Can't do that one.
Okay.
I can ask one in question now, but we can throw it away if you want. Let's see, who should I ask though?
One of these questions is: do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Does anybody
Yes.
have that?
I shall die from either alcohol poisoning or being smothered between two women.
I think that's a really good question for our divination wizard.
Yeah, really. And it's actually.
If I knew how I would die, I would already have the answers. And no.
So I think Prince is wondering, at least a little bit while we think of questions, what everyone's favorite color is. I think this matters to him enough that he wants to know. And I think he's most interested in knowing what Matt, what your character's favorite color is. And how do you pronounce your character's name again? It's Hisfer?
Hisfer Umric.
Hisfer. Yeah. So I think Prince is wondering, what is Hisfer's favorite color? And also why is it that color in particular?
Why is it purple?
And why is it purple?
Color and why is it purple?
So he'd think on it for a minute. Start patting himself down. Somewhere on his left leg, he'd find a pocket, and he'd pull it out. And inside, this is the pocket for colors. Apparently, it's red. Because that's what's in there.
Not okay with that.
It's what was in the pocket. The only important colors go in the color pocket, and it had
Only important colors. That's innocent enough. I feel like I'm not smart, but I'm wise enough to know that was purely innocent on your part, and you didn't know that I hate the color red. You weren't doing it to slight me or upset me.
It may not be red. It's in the pocket now. I can take it out again. It may not be red next time. Once they're in the pockets, you don't know.
So you hate the color red, my dear Harmony. You must hate me. And as he leans in directly to your face, you realize he's got heterochromia. So one of his eyes is yellow, the other is red.
I just always look to whatever side is yellow.
Which is, hold on.
Oh,
his right side. His right eye is red.
So I'm always looking at your right side. I always look in your right eye all the time. Just look over here.
So are you looking at his red eye or his yellow eye?
No, I'm looking at his yellow eye.
Oh, so it'd be his left eye then.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought you meant your right eye was yellow. Yes, okay. Yeah, always looking at your yellow eye. Easy. Maybe I was on that side when we were both in the stocks. That's what I saw first, and that's why I grew to trust you.
Yes.
You didn't realize at the time that one of his eyes was red. And
Exactly.
Then we found out later.
Didn't
Then by the time I got to know him, I was too late.
You didn't realize the sign of evil was there all along.
The sign of evil. The sign of my father.
He showed his good side, literally, and hid his evil. Okay, now that's officially a joke he makes all the time that it's become tired and worn out. His good side and his evil side. So when he says, Joe, like the saying, make sure you get my good side, he's meaning it almost in a literal good. And he said it enough that it's just a tired, worn out joke now.
That's perfect. Did anyone else have a question or?
I've got one.
Okay.
It's a good one. If there's a fight and you have to fight, but you get to choose the fight. Would you rather fight a 100 duck-sized horses or a horse-sized duck?
Who are you addressing that to?
Which of us are you addressing?
Anybody.
Anybody.
100 horse-sized ducks or a single duck-sized... No, what was it again? I zoned out. You were too slow.
100 duck-sized horses, or a single horse-sized duck.
Well, both would make an interesting story because of how odd that they are, but I think the duck-sized no, 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 no. The horse-sized. I don't know. You have a coin on you. I'll flip it.
Button?
It'll do. He takes it.
I need it back.
Sure. And he bites it, so he's like an imprint of his teeth on one side and flips it. And I'll literally just roll dice for this. The duck-sized horse.
It's a good choice. Could I have the button?
Sure.
I have a question for Prince.
Okay.
What's the most embarrassing thing that you have ever been through?
The most embarrassing thing. I think it was back when I was working with my family. And we were doing our printing press and we were getting a lot of stuff set up. It was a really busy day. There's some kind of big news story going on that day. I don't know what it is just yet. And at the factory, or at our printing press where we were getting stuff going out, I was helping out my dad at the time, and for some reason we had a bunch of different like inks and stuff at the press that day. And when we were going around and when we were getting a bunch of stuff ready, I accidentally knocked over one of the vats onto the printing press, and it was purple. And so when all of the printing press, like all the newspapers went out that day, they were all purple and we couldn't do anything about it. And for weeks, people had made fun of me for this. And I think that eventually I just said enough is enough, and I was like, I'm gonna own this, because everyone was making fun of how purple the newspapers were. So the next day I showed up to help out my family with the printing press, and I was in all purple, and ever since then I've just been in purple, and that's how that came to be.
That's perfect.
I love the origin story of the obsession with purple.
Yeah.
Love it. That's amazing. Just to cover up a mistake you made. Hey, you owned it.
Yeah.
So do you mind if I have fives answer that question? Because as soon as you
go
asked it,
for it.
I knew what he would say.
Yeah.
Try and do it in his voice. Oh, there are so many to count. Let's see. There was the time that noble found me in bed with his daughter. There was a time where that other noble found me in bed with his daughter with Kaisona. So there was a time that the third noble found me in bed with his daughter and his other daughter with Kaisona. But I think the most embarrassing time would be when Kaisona was found in bed with another noble's daughter, and I was rifling through his pantry at the time. Naked. Nothing but my fur.
At least you had your fur for that.
That's amazing.
What did you find in the pantry?
Asking important questions.
There was a lovely apple and pear and so many fruit that you just together in one bowl. Oh, that was lovely. First time I ever had it, really. I've been looking for something like it since I think it's a noble dish. Like it was like a salad of fruit.
It's an extravagance.
It was lovely.
That's precious.
I may have had the juices dripping from my whiskers at the time. And I may... Sorry, I lost the voice there for a second.
I'm impressed
I
you can keep it up at all.
I may have dunked my head into said bowl and might have had my head dunked into said bowl when I was wolfed in on. Yes.
Are you licking it like a cat?
No, I was not doing that. I was not doing I was. Yes, I was.
Yes, it was.
Did you keep any of these people? Did you keep any of their hair? Hair is important.
Any of their...
Yeah. Hair.
No. I have a collection of undergarments, but no hair.
Sometimes.
They used to make clothes out of hair. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, I have all the hair I need.
But there's a lot of portent in a person's hair. A single hair tells you where they've been and where they're going.
You can tell a lot about their heritage.
Tell me where I've been.
This
I
one's
just had a...
short.
I would recommend that you do so privately. You make sure you are ready to see things you might not want to see. If you're going to do portent on my hair, just as a NC-18 warning.
I see directions. I don't see images. I see
Oh,
potential.
you're lucky. You're lucky. Oh, potential. Okay. How many women in the next month?
Puts it away. You notice he opens it and like 1,000 hairs bunch out and he stuffs it all back in again.
Oh no! Yeah.
I have a bet with Kaisona that I need to know how many women the next month would I be with. I need to beat her number. She's only beating me by 5. The village hero gets all that attention.
Tries to fish the hair back out. He's got this big wad of hair. Between 1 and 70?
I'll
5?
take those chances.
Maybe.
Right, I'm going to the tavern. I will see you all later. I'm going to take those chances and those odds, and I'm going to win.
100?
Time to start working on that 70. When you mentioned hair, it made me think. I think that Harmony has really long hair, and she keeps it really long so she can like wrap it around her horns and pretend that she doesn't have them. So they just look like little pigtails or something, or little buns, just to cover them up. Maybe she pretends she's very sunburned or something. I think she might be a little embarrassed of her infernal heritage, especially considering the circumstances. Like, it's not something she would want to explain necessarily. Maybe one of you knows. Maybe I'll roll a dice to see which one of you actually knows the truth. But to everybody else, she literally just pretends that she's like a half elf with a sunburn and a lot of hair. So much hair.
A half elf who was involved in a magical accident.
Yes. And it's now pink with no pupils. I don't think she's actually fooling anybody. But remember that her intelligence is actually very low.
She goes around thinking that she's got this really extravagant disguise, but everyone's just like, we'll go along with this.
Because you're my friends. You're just like, yeah, totally.
Do not tell her that you know that she is a tiefling. Her feelings get hurt easily.
Very sensitive about it, okay?
I'll make a note not to do that.
Don't say the T word. Alright, so there are 3 of you. I'm just going across the board here. So Corey is 1, Matthew's 2, and Sam 2 is 3. So Prince is the one who knows that I'm actually a tiefling. In my mind, you're the only one that knows.
Rather, he was the only one who was told.
Yes,
I was
exactly.
gonna
Yeah.
say, can
No,
I roll?
everybody,
I know we
everybody knows.
we don't have a DM, but can I roll an investigation check?
Everybody knows. Everybody knows, but Prince is the only one that I have like confided to. I don't
Was
know
this-
why.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask why we learned about this. Maybe I told you about the printing press accident,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you wanted to return sort of the confidence, and you
Yeah.
told me this, and I was like,
Yeah.
I thought we all knew you were a tiefling, but I didn't say anything.
You're like, oh, really? Wow, I never would have known.
I'm loving this idea.
Gosh.
I've just had 5 is the one who has never told anyone's secret, but he finds out anyway. He's kind of the guy you don't trust to confide in it, but at the same time, he kind of has all these secrets he knows
He
anyway.
just knows. That's
He
awesome.
just doesn't.
He seems
So-
like the type.
Yeah, he seems like the type who'd tell everyone, but he's actually the one who will keep it close to his chest.
So I'm gonna be a real nerd here and bring up the Hunger Games for a minute
Mhm.
because there was a character in it who would like exchange sexual favors for secrets around
Yeah.
the capital, Finnick. And now I'm thinking maybe you could do something like that. Maybe you get information from the women that you sleep with. That could be useful.
Well, I'm a
Maybe
gentleman. A gentleman tells no secrets of who he's kissed
Or
or
maybe
done more with, but I will admit that mine and Kaisona's conquests are not always, shall we say, coincidental. There is sometimes a bit of purpose. I shall leave it as that. I am a gentleman, after all. Unless you're going to buy me the next round, and the next, and then I shall tell.
Did anyone else have a question? I feel like
I'm the only one who wasn't asked, and I can't think of anything.
Oh,
Uh,
that's fine.
So, who here would sleep with me? I'm kidding. I'm trying to think of what the actual question would be. Okay, I've got one. So, you're in a situation. You either push someone off a bridge, and in doing so, you save someone you love. Who would you, if you do not push this person, if you do not kill this person, you kill the person you love. Also, in a second follow-up, the person you are trying to save is not your loved one. I mean, personally, me, yo, Kaisona, all the way, every time, don't matter. But I mean, you three, I don't know you three properly enough to guess, so tell me your secrets. Okay, that was more sinister than I meant, and I apologize for that. I meant it in the most sincere way I could. Just, I'll buy you the next round.
So I did roll for my background, for some background stories, and one of them was that I was in love with somebody at one time. I don't think I'm necessarily with them still. Yeah, previously in love. I don't know what happened to them, whether they died or we broke up or something. Maybe we broke up and then
They
I
thought
threw
that
myself.
Warhammer was really lame.
Yeah, and then I threw myself into Warhammer in my despair. But just going off your question, I mean, I would probably push the innocent person off the bridge to save the person that I love.
And if
Honestly.
you weren't saving a person you loved, if it was another second innocent, or let's put it this way, if it was a child, but not one
Oh.
you knew,
I would save the kid.
so you'd, okay.
I would.
And you
But
see him
that's because-
pull out a piece of paper and start scribbling, and then took it away. Of course, what you all don't know is he's just writing nonsense. He's just doing that.
He just wants you to think that he's like taking notes on you.
Yep.
That was a good question. I think we've got about 10 minutes left. we probably got time for maybe like one more thing and then wrap ups, probably.
Yeah, I think that probably works.
Sure. Did anyone else have another question? I think we all asked one, but we could probably come up with another one, I think, at least for a little bit.
Or we could just cause more chaos and tell stories from past games. Joe, hilarious situations from past games.
I am wondering, like, how long have we been playing these games together for? Like, is this a regular Friday thing that we do?
Yes, it is. It is a Friday.
Fridays at 8:30.
I think where it's in that honeymoon phase where it's like, you know, we found this common thing and we've been doing it for long enough to where we're still super enthusiastic. We're like, it's our priority, and it's not the thing that we do if we have time, right? So it's like, it's in that, you know, we're like way into it, and it's what you look forward to after work. And that's why we're so enthusiastic. Like, we're willing to like go risk our lives for gold to fund this addiction.
Well, I mean, for fives, he's if you don't mind me differing from the group slightly, he's beyond that point. Because again, I think the Tabaxi have the short attention span. So he's kind of mellowed out slightly, so he's not that bad. But it's kind of like he's gone through the honeymoon. It's now a hobby, something he enjoys. So as I said, his whole purpose for the adventure is basically, I want to beat Kaisona's story. Or to put it in a way where he's not putting on airs, he just wants to have a good story for the woman he loves. Is that basically he's trying to build himself up? Because I imagine beneath it all, he's very self-conscious, and it's kind of like that. Doesn't believe he's good enough, and he's trying to build himself up to match her standard in his eyes.
And Hizver's been following you guys because he thinks he sees in the combination of these people, he sees potential, and he thinks that if he's there at the ground floor, he can guide the potential, and he knows where he can send it. So he's ingratiated himself to the group by being the guy who builds these little figurines and such. But he's looking for what motivation will go forward, because that's where his goal lies. He wants to have the basis of this thing and then try and guess or determine its course, and he thinks it's going to go somewhere important. I don't think I've ever defined his main driving goal, but his goal is he wants to build like a library or a lyceum or something where he accumulates junk and things that are important, and by accumulating enough important things and books and knowledge and stuff, then he can divine the future for thousands of years. And so his whole thing is to get money and resources and a place. And like if you go to his hovel, it's just full of this junk, right? And he wants, you know, something that's like a city block like that, so that he knows where the future is. And so he thinks, if I get with this people, they're going to get me there.
So, a question on that actually: is he with the group for purely that reason, or has he actually found them as friends?
He would have. This is one of those things where he may not have admitted that, but it's like they're friends now too, ish.
He joined to see where it went, but he became friends with them.
You know, he kind of, you know, maybe you guys are meeting and he just kind of kept showing up, but then eventually it's accepted that he was going to keep showing up, and, you know, and like he makes these things for you and like, oh, he's not all bad. He's just a little awkward, right?
But I mean, from his point of view, are they friends? Are they his friends? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
He would, yeah. He wouldn't do anything evil or throw them under a bus or anything, because, you know.
So he's not with the group, Joe, just to guide the potential. He is actually a legitimate friend.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's part of he thinks that's part of the vector, is being their friend also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to mention this and I forgot, so I'll just do it now actually. For Fives' driving intent, it again harkens back to what I was saying, Joe. He doesn't see himself as good enough in a couple of ways, and so his alignment, I put little stock in alignments, but it's a good, I think, demonstrator for this, is chaotic neutral. He just loves chaos, sees it as kind of like this is the natural way of things, and so he always wants there to be chaos in some form, and if he's causing that, all the better. But then Kaisona is chaotic good, and so that's why he works with the Harpers. He wants to, so he's not got his own moral code, basically, he's following hers. And so he thinks if he keeps walking his path, he will at some point be able to do something that would fit with what Kaisona would want. So if it's stopping some great evil, good. If it's stopping some tyranny, good. If it's stopping corruption, good. So long as it's still would fit with her intent and moral code. Him himself, it's just chaos for himself. So yeah, despite it all, he's a softie.
Cool.
Sorry, I spoke over you there. Sorry.
Did you have a goal, Sam? Or go ahead.
Pardon?
I was going to ask if you had a goal as well.
I'm not sure I have a goal so much as like I also rolled for where I lived and grew up, and apparently we moved around a lot, presumably because you know, my dad was a devil. It's hard to hide that I'm a tiefling. People would have questions, things my mother doesn't want to deal with. And so just like finding this group of people who accepts me, you know, I think that they don't know that I'm a tiefling. They obviously do. They obviously have questions about my background and why I only live with this human woman instead. But because they just, in my eyes, they're just blindly like, yeah, you're our friend. You know, we hang out, we play games, we chat, we have a good time. Because of that, like, I'm willing to do whatever you guys want to do. As long as we're friends, like, let's do it. I don't care. I've already been to jail for kidnapping. Like, how much worse can it get?
Well, did we sort out who you kidnapped? I don't
No,
think
we didn't actually know.
we didn't figure that out.
We did not. I don't know who I kidnapped or why.
So was it Lugo or Hisva? Because I think it would be hilarious for it to be Lugo or Hisva.
I was just about to say that possibly you kidnapped me or my family, and that is also when we became friends, and we had a moment where we exchanged our information about the printing press and the tiefling, and after that it was like, wait a second, we don't need to be in this kidnapping situation.
Well, but I maintain that it was purely accidental.
Yeah.
Maybe to your family, maybe to like your parents, they were like,
yeah, they were
that
like,
woman fucking kidnapped you, and you're like, no, it's cool, it's an accident.
If you don't mind me giving a suggestion, but going on what you said, Sam, about Joe, this group is her friends, so she'll go along with it because friends. Maybe she fell in with a group that manipulated that. That's how the kidnapping took place, and it was kind of like during the middle of this kidnapping with this other group, it could be tied to one of the factions of Waterdeep. A little bit of backstory there. But during this kidnapping, you were watching over, say, Lugo, and it was kind of that's how that friendship developed and how you got out of that group. And so you basically turned.
So I got suckered into it.
Yeah.
It was
and then
after
I was like,
you turned informant, and
yeah,
your punishment then was just flogging rather than anything else, because you basically handed over information to the city guards.
When I realized that they were not actually my friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
Sorry, it's just that's what I mean. I make dark characters, and you can see why now.
No, it's all right. I love playing sad, tragic characters, so it's fine. I'm trying to just roll with it and play like this nice idiot who is a tour guide. But she can still have a sad backstory. But I think that she's kind of not oblivious to it, but
balls with the punches.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't let it get her down. Yep. That's good. Cool. All right.
So I think we're at time if we want to do outros.
Do we know why Prince is in it? We don't know why Prince is in it yet.
I think it's because I think he's also a very self-conscious person, especially after being like a citywide embarrassment. And I think that the three of you in sort of the friendship, I don't know if the three of you really make a big deal about that embarrassment, especially if whether or not your characters know about it.
Oh, Five loves it. Five thinks it was hilarious. He enjoyed
Okay.
every moment of that. So he makes. I assume he'd make light of it. So he doesn't
Okay.
use it as a point of embarrassment. He's almost envious that he did such a thing.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure that Harmony can read. So
Oh, poor girl.
Yeah. Then, and I think since he found this group that was at least nicer to him than everyone else was, he enjoyed that. And I think he maybe found a bit of use in our endeavor for trying to grow our Warhammer collection. I think maybe with his ability like sell goods. I think he wants that to be that like keystone in the group. Yeah. I think that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, other than the fact, I think we need to come up for another name other than Warhammer, just in case.
Yeah.
that's a good idea. Actually, yeah.
I think that's basically everything we need to talk about rather this evening.
War flails, war.
There's probably a god that we could put in there. Who's the god of war?
Tyr.
War Slammer 41K. It's like a combination of minifigures and pogs.
Tyr hammer.
That's a good one.
Tyr's hand. Because in the Norse myth, Tyr sacrificed
Lost his left hand. Yeah.
to Fenrir so he could be shackled by the gods.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that kind of thing, like the justice and upholding of law. So I think having like a game based on that, so it's not just armies after army. There's a backstory to it, which is kind of like each is trying to uphold their own law and justice. So you have different factions trying to do what they see. So like Tyr's hand to represent the views of each faction.
Sweet. I like it.
Yep.
Cool.
So, get to work writing up the rules for that so we can role-playing. And let's hope we don't get any further meta than that.
More could take it if we went further. So yeah, shall we do the outros, do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Oh, I
don't know what to do on an outro. What do we do?
Yeah, what's an outro? I don't know.
So where would people find you other than here on Fridays?
Oh. At home, but you're not allowed to come here.
Okay. Okay, that was simple. Corey?
people can find me on my Twitter at Corey Hickson. That's where I am everywhere on the internet. Yeah, I'll be here on Fridays. This is what I'll probably be doing for streaming for the next while till this is done.
Okay. And Sam?
I'm on Twitter as 65th Victor, which is a Hunger Games reference. I will type it out into Twitch just in case I'm not saying it completely clearly. But yeah, follow me over there. Maybe you'll see some art of our Waterdeep Dragon Heist characters, because I know just from the four of us that are in here tonight, I've got some great inspiration and I can't wait to drop them.
I'm so excited.
I look forward to see that. So
Awesome.
are there any other streams anyone else can find any of you?
Oh, I do stream occasionally at Samantha Darcy on Twitch, but it's very occasional and it's usually in the middle of a work day. So if you can come, great. But I mean, feel free to look me up.
Okay, and I can be found at Eldritch Warlock on Twitter, although I don't really do much on Twitter, to be honest. On Twitch, though, I can be found in a couple of different places recently. On Mondays, on the RPG Lab, I'm involved in the Great Hunt campaign, which is a homebrew campaign being done. I believe that's at 7:30 GMT, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's best to go look at the schedule on the actual Twitch. So that's the RPG Lab. I sometimes take part in their Saturday one-shots as well.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I'm here on Variant Roles every once in a while, and what you guys all need to do is, if you enjoy my antics here is everybody needs to get on and demand the return of immovable rod to the variant roles, one shots, so I can
Immovable
destroy
rod
my
was-
voice again. Playing immovable rod.
That's amazing. That sounds like something Alex would come up with. Just throwing that out there for my friend Alex because it's right up his alley. That's amazing. Immovable rod. Please tell me that you're like a big buff.
He's a professional wrestler dwarf. He's a movable in quotes, a movable Rod Robson, and he's a valiant heart barbarian. So he uses improvised weapons and stuff.
That's amazing. That
Yeah.
sounds so fun.
He talks like Randy Savage.
Was it him that left the child or children behind, or was it that someone else?
No, someone else. But so his whole thing is he thinks he was all put out and like he had this poor upbringing. In fact, he had this very wealthy upbringing. He was such a jerk they all kicked him out of town. And so...
Oh right, yeah, that was it.
Sweet.
Guys, I just have to interrupt real quick to say that I'm really excited about this game.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm looking
It's
forward
gonna
to
be
Friday.
hilarious. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
Yep.
I really can't wait. I'm gonna spend the rest of the week like hyping it on my Twitter because everybody needs to come see this because it's going to be hilarious.
And before we end, I just want to say I am so sorry, Talon. I am so
Oh,
sorry.
I know. Same. Sorry, Taryn. This is what you get for not being here.
Come sweep up the pieces.
You could have controlled this
Well, I think we've only left ashes in our wake. Our job is done
already.
as
Oh.
pyromancers.
Yeah.
Now that's all that's left to do is to burn down Waterdeep.
Yep.
Oh my god, this is peak D&D, as Alex just said in the chat. This is peak D&D for sure, 100%. This is what it was made for.
So who wants to bet we end up being labelled murder hobos?
Definitely
Depends
I don't
how much
know.
we murder.
true.
Yeah.
The barbarian's
I-
going to be the sane one.
probably.
Like the
I mean,
rational.
at this rate, yeah.
This is going to be chaos. I am so looking forward to it.
Yep.
I know, I can't wait. Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Yes. All right. Well, I hope that everybody who is in here tonight comes back to watch our first game since we're actually starting next Friday.
And thank you all for taking the time to come and watch as well. Even,
Yes.
even if you popped in for these last 10 minutes, thank you for taking
Yeah.
the time to come and
Thanks for hanging out, especially in a zero session where we're just shooting the shit about characters. Like, it was really
I think-
awesome.
and thank you for putting up with our chaos.
Yes.
We're so sorry.
100%.
We are not at fault for any injury that may have occurred from extreme laughing or face palming.
I
Or
would say
sadness.
I've strained the muscles in my face tonight just from laughing at everything. So I'm sure it's only going to get worse as the weeks go on.
We can only hope.
I hope so. Oh my god.
I'll,
Right. Okay.
I'll put a shout out to Dan for organizing all of this and
Oh,
all the work
yeah.
he did just putting this together.
For sure.
'Cause
Yes,
that was
thank you,
super
Dan.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case the people that are watching tonight, I'm sure they know, but in case you don't know, there are are there 4 other groups or 2 other? 4
Three
other
of the
groups.
3
Four in-
3 other groups. It's somewhere in between. Not 2, not 4, but 3. 3 other groups playing Waterdeep on the same channel, all on different nights. So if you somehow have the time to watch all of them, by all means, then
I believe
please
I believe it's a Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep. So yeah, we're the Friday group, and I hope you guys all come back next Friday because I can't wait to see these characters in action. Like, I really can't.
Sweet.
I'm glad that I got in a group that's as irreverent as I can be with D&D. Like, I love to play a serious game, but I also love to have just complete
Yeah.
burn the world chaos at the same time. So
Yeah.
I think Taryn's up for that too, so I think we're in a good spot.
I think so.
Excellent.
I hope so. Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome.
All right.
So I think we're good. Goodbye, everyone, and have a good night.
Good night.